Recording in progress.
Whatever that is. NICIA, N-I-C-I-A vision. Let's see, they had the camera listed. Camera is a 2 megapixel GC2145. USB 6-axis motion sensor, integrated microphone, and a VL53L1 TOF distance sensor. That's a laser expansion. 10 I/O points, 2 analogs. It's a Arduino programmer. NXP SC50C2 secure element. Security, whatever that means.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can. I gotta turn the volume down.
You guys got
You're
the
quite
dirty-
loud.
Dirty pipe.
But it's our
I'm
fault.
loud. Okay, let me turn myself down.
No. It's our fault. The volume on the TV was at like 100%.
It looks like a virus or something. It's in the news, so it's in the meeting announcement too. Okay.
What was that? There's a virus in the meeting announcement?
No, it's the Linux has got a potential security violent. Linux has been bitten by its most high severity vulnerability in years.
Yeah, I read that article.
Okay.
It's a good job they don't post it for Windows.
Oh, they ain't got enough print room for that. But you need to be aware of it. Stuff you need to be aware of, I try to bring in.
Yep.
And the Arduino's
So,
got a camera Arduino now. It's on the news too. It's in the news.
yeah, it was kind of expensive though.
What, you hadn't got any money? You hadn't got 115 bucks?
Almost everything Arduino actually makes is expensive.
Oh.
Yeah, 115 bucks for a 2 megapixel camera apparatus is
With the laser distance, built-in laser distance device, and
Yeah, but you can get a laser module for $7.
does Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Yeah, you can get a Bluetooth adapter. You can get a Wi-Fi adapter for 20 bucks. Yeah.
yeah. I read all the specs and I wasn't impressed. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess the only thing it's might have going for it is what, 16 megs of flash.
Oh, really?
Well, it's got some memory, but I mean, you know, the ESP32's got 16 megs of flash. So.
Yeah. Well, I spent the week trying to get one of my Raspberry Pi 3B pluses going with a camera again. I've got a project that's basically a time-lapse video project for watching plants grow. The thing that precipitated this is that this is the time of year, if you're a gardener, you're planting your tomato seeds and pepper seeds, and depending on what state you live in, your other seeds. And I guess you have to be in Michigan to plant those. At any rate, So I finally got it going, but I got it going by rolling it back from Buster to whatever the last one was. And after after half a dozen trials, it finally worked. And what I had to do was flash zeros into the entire 32 gigabyte micro SD, and then use DD to do the install of the image. For some reason or another, there were residues of the previous image each time I tried to flash a new image on that micro SD. I tried to brand fresh micro SD and so forth and so on. Still it took actually writing zeros to every bit in the entire micro SD in order to get the thing going. So I don't know what was going on, or if I was just suffering a series of brain farts, or what the deal was. But in any case, I finally got it going, and it's working just fine. And I am now set up to watch seeds sprout. The time-lapse of photography, I've never done it, is kind of cool. You watch the little fibrous plant come up out of the soil and grow branches and so forth and so on. So, at any rate, but I had to go back to the previous release of Raspbian to do this. I kept getting glitches on Buster, and I haven't tried. There's a new release. I don't remember the exact name of it, but I haven't tried it yet. You remember, you know what that is, Steve?
Offhand, no, but yeah, the latest Raspbian is, or Raspberry Pi OS, whatever, is interesting.
Have you tried it?
Yes. I went back to the previous version.
A lot of
people. You went back to Buster, or you went back to the one before Buster?
The one before whatever is current.
You went to Buster.
Okay.
Yeah, Buster was around for a couple of years.
And then Stretch. Before Buster, there was Stretch.
Yeah, no, I didn't go back that far.
But I haven't tried the latest one yet, so I don't know what that's like.
It's interesting, and it's so interesting that Raspberry Pi released a legacy OS, which is basically Buster.
Oh, yes.
Because the new version is interesting.
This is like, was it Windows 8? They immediately released 8.1 after that, I think it was.
It's a similar sort of thing, I guess.
And there was also the one that was between XP and 7. I forget what the name of it is. And
Vista. There was Vista, and
oh God, yes.
there was Millennium or ME.
Yep.
ME and MT.
Yeah.
Man.
I actually liked ME. ME.
Really? Okay.
Oh, brother.
Every time I installed it, it installed and it ran stable. I never had a problem with ME. I know why people did have problems with it, but
if you wanted to actually use it for media,
I never really had a problem with it.
Okay.
But the machine that I had was also designed to work. I mean, it came, and it's a little sticker on it, said designed for Windows ME. So I never really had that problem.
So current Raspberry Pi OS is Bullseye.
Bullseye. Yeah.
And when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
set up Bullseye, I couldn't get any of the stuff that I needed to work. So I went back to Buster, which is going to be maintained for quite a while.
Speaking of my slow touch screen, turns out it still was a driver issue. It was not Wayland. It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't Buster. I finally figured out, going back through my old notes and stuff, I finally figured out who actually made that touch screen. Went to their website and they provided updated drivers.
Cool.
They did not say that it was for Buster specifically, but I said, well, I will try it because nothing else seems to be right, and it appears like it actually fixed the problem. So definitely driver related issue with that touchscreen and Buster.
Bullseye or Buster?
Buster.
Okay.
I didn't try Bullseye because I know there's all kinds of weird things with Bullseye, and I was running a Raspberry Pi 3, which my understanding Bullseye doesn't really. It wants to run on Raspberry Pi 4.
I didn't know that. There's a 32-bit and a 64-bit version of Bullseye.
Is there?
Yes.
I did not know that. Every time I went to try to download something, it kept giving me the 64-bit. But I think 64-bit would run on the Raspberry Pi 3 because it's a 64-bit machine. But
So Steve, did you install the 32-bit or the 64-bit Bullseye?
64. I figured, wow, this will make everything wonderful. And
Oh yeah?
This was while I was still at Reisenfeld, because we were shipping Raspberry Pis out with end users, and it worked great. I mean, it was nearly perfect. I had a one-page, this is how you unpack it and set this thing up, and it just worked. We probably bought a total of about 35 Raspberry Pi 4s. And when I tried to get it to work with Bullseye, none of my scripts worked properly. So I just kept recopying the old one. They were all clones. Automatically updated once a week. And then I'd clone this Pi. There we go, and send somebody off with one. I had one at my desk, and I just cloned that thing over and over and over.
So what did you finally find was stable? Was not Bullseye, but Buster?
Yeah.
Legacy, they call it Legacy OS now, or Raspberry Pi Legacy or something.
Yeah.
But it's Buster.
Well, is Bullseye the latest Debian release?
Debian 11. I don't know if that, I think Debian's actually on 12, or they're working on 12.
I had read somewhere, I don't know if it's true or not, I read somewhere that Raspberry Pi went off. That's why we got something different. They went off and did their own thing.
Oh, so they're not just following
No,
Debian.
On Debian, but it doesn't have drivers for things that don't matter to a Raspberry Pi. And it does have drivers for what does. They put in the Raspy config.
But I read somewhere that the new version, the Bullseye, is something that they went off on their own. They designed their own. I don't know. I'd see if I could find.
I mean, their page says it's based on Debian 11.
Well, then whatever I found, it probably is wrong because they've always have been based on Debian.
Yeah.
At some point. And some,
To roll their own
some versions.
distribution, to roll their own distribution would be pretty labor intensive, I would think.
I would think that that's a interesting thing to do this late in the game anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's what I had read. It's probably not true. If you're on the Raspberry Pi website and it's saying that still.
So are legacy Raspberry Pis available, or is they like automobiles? Once they release a new model, the old model is not available?
Well,
they commit to producing every version for some minimum amount of time, regardless of the release cycle. When they made the original Raspberry Pi 0W for the Zero, they promised that they would make that thing for, I think, 8 years. When the 0W came out, they promised to make that thing for 10.
Really?
They want them to be used in industrial equipment.
and education.
Yeah.
The up until like the pandemic hit, you could get, I think you could still get Raspberry Pi 2s at Micro Center. Now I think they do stock 3B plus and 4s, but finding them now is getting hard to do.
Yeah, I've tried to find 3Bs. I've tried to find 3Bs and I can't find them.
Yeah, the stock is depleted. So they for a while anyway, they were supporting at least 3 different versions plus the zeros, plus all the zeros. But I have a feeling the pandemic has changed some part of that because parts aren't available to make them and other stuff.
That isn't really their fault.
No, that's not really their fault. I'm not saying that it's their fault. I'm just saying that.
Well, the other thing is the jam up in the fab business, the chip fab business has really messed things up.
Right. That's what I mean. The chips, I think they released something not too long ago that talked about the chip shortage.
Yeah, the chip shortage is killing everybody. The automobile industry is just dying because they can't get the chips for their engine control computers.
You might be able to find that on their blog because they talked about their release cycle of new products and how they were going to have to kill some of the older boards because of the shortages. So yeah, I mean, some of that stuff's going to be hard to find for a while, I think.
Well, the jam up in the fabs is really a real major problem.
I think I don't think they wanted to stop supporting that stuff or stop manufacturing that stuff. I just think they were kind of forced to stop.
Yeah, I can't find an 8 gig i4, and I did find a 4 gig for $189.
Woohoo!
Yeah, that's pretty. That's well above my threshold of pain.
Yeah.
How about it, Leroy?
That makes me feel better about what I paid for the for that camera system that I bought off of the Kickstarter.
Have you gotten delivery yet?
Yeah, that actually came pretty close to time, which probably means they were buying the Raspberry Pi 4s up early. They're still working on the software part of it, but hardware hardware wise, they got the hardware out. The hardware is good. Software is, I'd call it beta software probably. Every couple of weeks they release some new software for it, so it's not bad. They're working on it.
So their contribution to the hardware side, though, is basically taking a Raspberry Pi 4 and putting some bells and whistles on it, right?
They designed their own hat.
Okay.
And they designed, like, it's not a standard camera module. They designed their own camera module, I believe. They are using like off-the-shelf lenses, but my zoom lens, they designed a special connector for adapter connector thingamabop for the lens. But they did design their own hat, which I don't know how hard it is to design a hat. I would imagine you don't really need a microcontroller for that. You probably need some chips.
Yeah.
They were a little behind. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they were pretty close to being on time, but they were a little behind, and I think it was the hat that was slowing them down. I think they had bought up all the pies they could get their hands on.
So
they kept saying that they had an outdoor enclosure specially designed, and they kept saying that whatever the fab material was, the fab shop that was making that was so far behind that they just started shipping the Raspberry Pis or the cameras without the enclosures.
Buy your own Tupperware.
Yeah, well, they started shipping the enclosures not too long ago. But
so basically, you just get parts and then you assemble it yourself, or what?
No. It comes pre-assembled, except for the enclosure. They made the decision to ship it without the enclosure. So people that ordered the enclosure will have to put the device inside of the enclosure. They said it's real simple to do. I did not order the enclosure, so I didn't care.
Oh, you could buy it without the enclosure then?
Yes.
Interesting.
But it came pre-assembled. It's in its own little case, which pretty much looks like any other Raspberry Pi 4 case. Special, their colors, but I mean they probably paid somebody to.
So Leroy,
in their colors.
what happened to YouTube last week?
Oh, it's actually there. I was going to say that. I did upload it, but because certain people were cussing a lot, I marked it as private. I'll have to send everybody a link to it.
Oh, so it's not a public link anymore?
That one's not. I marked that one as being private because some of our people got rowdy.
Sorry.
They did?
You didn't hear all that?
Was I?
Instances of the S word.
I marked,
I
marked it private because well, there's a couple of reasons, because of the way the YouTube algorithm works and whatever.
Yeah.
It'll flag it as being something that it's not, and
Okay.
yeah. So I just marked it as private. I'll send everybody a link to it.
So basically we're having X-rated YouTube.
The last time that happened, I was able to mark it as adult friendly, not kid friendly. They didn't give me that option this time, so I just marked it as private.
Oh, so you're on one of those lists now, huh?
Yeah. So the last time that happened, I was able to mark it as, I think, 17 and over. So you had to put your,
Really?
yeah. But they didn't give me that option this time, so. So you had to put your date in or your birth date in to see the video, which I still thought was whatever. Anybody can make a date of.
I was gonna say, you know, pick a number. I would be creeped out if they in fact were able to confirm your birth date. That would be
I would imagine somewhere at some point when I set Google up many years ago, I gave them my birthday. In fact, I know I did because my Google Home will wish me a happy birthday. So.
Oh, okay.
And whether or not they're sharing it across their platform, that might be a little scary. So that's where the video is, and I meant to actually stick it in the meeting announcement, but it never happened. So okay. I will fix that. I'll correct that situation.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know that Facebook wishes me a happy birthday every year.
Yeah, I'm sure that my Google Home has wished me a happy birthday. And
do they get it right is the question.
It's close enough. It doesn't go off at midnight, which is thankful.
Yeah.
But, my PlayStation, apparently when I set up my PlayStation account, it asked for my birthday. So my PlayStation, when I turn it on my birthday, it'll pop up and say, happy birthday.
I'll have to pay attention to my phone on my birthday because I've got a Google Assistant routine that goes off every morning. If it's going to do anything, it'll do it then.
Forgetting that I said something to it, and it did the thing, and then it said, by the way, happy birthday, or something like that. Oh, Kenny's here. We gotta let Kenny in.
Okay.
So I am sure that they could verify if they really wanted to.
Well, I'm sure they could, but I was just
the real question. I mean, you know, my grandkid, she's 6. She watches YouTube sometimes, usually using Patty's account, but she'll watch YouTube, and then Patty will get all these cartoons and stupid things in there in her list of recommendations. So if she knew Patty's birthday, she could type Patty's birthday in, and it would still let her watch the video because it's not Patty, even if it would verify Patty's. So that's I mean, it's one of those deals where hi, Kenny.
Yep.
Hey, Ken.
Hey.
What's going on?
Well, Wednesday last week, I had an operation on my right eye.
Did they take your eye out?
No, they took the cataracts off.
How'd it go?
Went pretty good. Wednesday was kind of out of it. And then I went back to see the doctor on Friday, and he said all went well. So I got 3 more weeks or 3 weeks of drops, and then I go see him again.
So did you have a lot of drops before as well?
2 days before, I had a couple, 2 drops per day, something like that. It was just 2 days before.
And so you're on drops for another 2 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But I can, they actually tested out the eye and it's 20/20. So it's a pretty good deal. I can see clearer now. The left eye it saw far and the right eye saw close, and I was blind.
Your glasses?
So yeah, I went up to Cincinnati Institute up in Middletown and they took it off, and he's probably going to tell me, we'll take the other one off for you on the left.
So did you get distance lenses or near lenses?
Both.
So you've got the graded.
I want to know if it's graded or not. They have a lens that you can see distance with, okay, and then they have a lens that you can see distance and close with. So there's 2 lenses available to you. The Medicare takes care of the removal of the cataracts, but does not take care of putting a new lens in. So that you're kind of on your own.
So the surgeon can say, whoops, we're done. You didn't pay your bill.
Whoa. You pay before it goes. You haven't paid, you don't go under the knife.
Okay, so this is like a fast food restaurant. You
Yes.
pay in advance of eating.
Yes, it's like a Wendy's, okay? Go to the
Yeah.
Wendy's window and say, give me a salad,
So that was your left eye?
Right.
Right.
Right eye.
Right your left eye or right your right eye?
Right eye. So I paid the extra bucks, and supposedly I'm going to be able to see far and near. And the idea is get it done this year, because next year I got to go get my driver's license. And of course, I don't want that on my license that you have to have a lens. So that was not it. So yeah, it turned out pretty good so far. It, just kind of hanging loose this week, going nowhere.
They told me when I had mine that I could experience a little dryness in my eye, but frankly, it's never happened. I think I was on drops for a couple, 3-4 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
Frankly, of all the various medical things I have to do, dropping a drop on my eyeball with my eye open kind of creeps me out a little bit, but you get used to it.
Well, I this past summer I bought a nice lounge chair, and it can retract, so I'm almost laid out, so it's pretty easy to put the drops in. Yeah, I might put 1 or 2 drops to get 1 drop in, but it's pretty easily. So
yeah, I had the problem with my eyelids blinking closed just as I released a drop. So it was an eyeball hand coordination issue.
Oh yeah, it happens.
But it made a tremendous difference in my vision. I mean, it was like night and day. I was really pleased with it.
Yeah, so far so good.
So Jim, aren't you due to have one done here this next month?
Yeah, I'm done. I had mine done yesterday.
Oh, really?
This looked a little different. I've adapted my glasses.
He's got no glass in the right eye.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I figured that out. You've adapted your glasses. Okay.
Yeah,
So how's your vision?
it's good. Everything's perfect. I have to wait till I get off the drops for my near vision to perfect, but my far vision is good. And with this left lens and everything's, I'm 20/20.
So Kenny gets it done. Okay. Now somebody else gets it done, you know, same place.
Oh yeah, it's like running mint. We got bird dog. We run out before we get in.
We give it to Kenny and see what Kenny can do with it.
Yeah.
Kenny makes it work. Okay. And
You're the guinea pig.
yep. So here we go, Leroy. It's $45 for 3 months. That includes tax and everything. Then the next 3 months, it's $75 plus you have almost $7 worth of tax. So it's $82 for the next 3 months. However, if you sign up for a full year, it's $202. Well, it's $180, but it's 200. It comes out the tax is $202. So that boils down to $16 a month.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
And that's on a contract for 1 year for 4 gigabytes.
Prepaid 1 year, $202.
Yep.
It's about what I figured it would be with tax and everything.
Yep.
$2
Now Republic
over what I actually figured. I don't know if I can afford that extra $2.
Neither can I. But Republic was offering 2 gig unlimited text, unlimited calls for $28 a month.
Mm-hmm.
This is 4 gigs unlimited text, unlimited calls for $16 a month. What it basically boils down to.
If you prepay for the entire year, you can get it for about $16.
Right, but you got prepay.
If you only go with the 3 month or the 6 month plan, then it's a little bit more expensive, but it's still a good deal, I think.
Yeah, they have a 6 month a contract out there too. 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. That's the 3 they got.
And the best value is to prepay for the entire year. That's where you're going to get your best price.
You can get your best price.
It's Vicente.
Hey, Vicente.
Hi, hello.
So one of the other things, Art, that we learned was on the old phone, it didn't transfer any of my texts. So all my text didn't transfer. All the other Google stuff transferred. So there is a app out there, and I think it's what is it?
Backup SMS. SMS backup, yeah.
Yeah.
Android app.
Yeah, an Android app, SMS backup. And you can use that, and it would back up all your text data onto your drive, Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can take and on your new phone, put that same app on, and then you can transfer that down to your new cell phone. So it can be transferred off. Now, the other thing that we found out is that it has a prearranged thing. So once a week, once a day, or once a month, something like that. We got 3 options there. So I push once a week. So Sunday night, all the data is going to be transferred to Drive Google. So I will hopefully never have to use it until my next cell phone, but the texts are being saved that way. So that's something interesting to know.
Okay, isn't there a Google Text also?
Don't know of a Google text.
I thought there was, but at any rate, whatever works.
So this works.
Good.
Have you been keeping track of your data usage?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at it yesterday. Yeah, I've used half a gig.
Okay.
Yeah, not much.
Patty figured out her data. The kids installed a bunch of games, so her data went away because of games. I have used almost no data. I'm at 3.9. I've got 9 days left.
Yeah.
I'm on my second month right now, and of course, when I signed in, you pay for 3 months and you get 3 months for free. So basically, I'm on a 6-month contract for the $45. So it was a really good deal.
No deal. I didn't get that deal.
No, I got it on the last day. The last day it was available, I said, I pulled the trigger and got it.
Okay.
But, you know, it basically cuts everything in half. I mean, except for paying the tax.
You'll never get away from that. So
yeah. Good luck with that.
I did get I did get my taxes done, Art. So they're done. Yay.
Well, I'm still waiting on 2 things from my broker to finish mine.
We got to do our city taxes. We did our state and federal already. Our city taxes are going to be fun.
It's over with.
I used to do it on July or so because my banks outside the USA are very slow sending all the tax reports, you know. So every day, every year, I need to ask for extension.
But you still have to pay whatever's due.
No, there's an estimation. I paid some estimated, and then we made the adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not walking away with nothing. No.
Yeah. Well, about a decade ago, I finally got tired of doing it myself and hired a tax accountant, and I've been doing that ever since. So it's all a matter of getting all the stuff accumulated every year and sending it to them, and they do the processing. But the problem is my broker this year said, well, here's all the stuff, but 2 of the 1099s we know for sure are going to get modified. Well, okay. And guess who makes out in that situation? The accountant essentially gets paid by the hour. Okay. So any modifications they're happy to deal with.
How do they modify a 1099? Usually it's pretty
No.
well.
No, the brokerage house gets initial 1099s for securities. It's various kind of statements for securities like 1099s and so forth and so on.
Right. Okay.
So they have been advised that a couple of the investments that have 1099s associated with them, I don't know if they're dividends or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and they said, all right, here you go. However, it's going to change. And my accountant said, okay, you know, cha-ching on the cash register. Okay.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
You got it. So, and a good tax accountant doesn't work for $15 an hour these days, believe it or not.
No.
So they're perfectly happy to do extensions and modifications and blah, blah, blah. And I had one that had gotten really messed up about 4 or 5 years ago, and boy, she just coined it. I mean, she said, "Wow, this is really complicated." I thought, you know what complicated means? It means more expensive.
I kind of figured that, Art.
Yeah. So
we lived in 2 cities last year, so we've got to file in 2 cities. But it should be easy. We just hand in the thing and it should come out to $0. Should be
well, mine, the worst one I ever had, Barbara was living in Manhattan, New York, which had New York state tax and had New York city tax, and of course, federal tax also. And part of the year she lived in Manhattan, and part of the year she lived with me in New Jersey. And then I had, of course, federal tax and New Jersey state tax and so forth and so on. And I did that one myself. And I got to tell you, that was like having hot toothpicks stuck under your fingernails. It was just very painful. So, but as I say, about 10 years ago, I decided, you know what? It is, life is short. And in spite of the fact that I've got a MBA in finance, I hate to do accounting. and so, and Barbara's a degreed accountant. So at any rate, she agreed with me that it was time to pay somebody to do it, and I've been paying somebody to do it ever since. It's one of those things like root canals. You can put off a root canal as long as you want to, but it gets more painful over time. So at some point you decide to have the root canal done. And that's the way I look at taxes, like root canals. So what's your project du jour, Vicente?
Just playing with, last night I was assembling a microprocessor trainer, a very old one, 1977.
Really?
Was working on it, yeah.
This is like a PIC?
It's a King One. It's a 6502 microcontroller, the ones that use Apple II. One of the first microcontrollers.
Yeah, originally Apple II stole it from somebody else, but yes.
Well, but they designed the first board with a microcontroller, 8 bits microcontroller.
Yeah.
That was very popular. And there is a board designed by the microprocessor manufacturer. They designed a board for training and this. So I am assembling a replica.
Yeah, that was originally designed by Motorola.
No, this one was
Rockwell.
MOS technology, and then was by Rockwell, both MOS, something like that.
6502.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was originally designed.
No, sorry, I am missing 2 microcontrollers. The 1802
MOS.
and the 6502.
Rockwell. It was developed. Sorry. Okay.
It was all all of the ones I've seen have said MOS or CMOS on them.
Yeah, it was MOS doing development for Rockwell. Rockwell wanted it as a controller for a jet engine. Didn't work.
Yeah, they're all CMOS.
But it made a heck of a computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's an early computer. Did you see Batman yet?
No, the new one, no.
Yes, the new one.
No. This is the board
cool.
I am making.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So was this something you just had laying around or what?
That up there in the corner does look like a Rockwell sign, doesn't it?
I added a red filter to make it more contrast in the display. Also, I changed the resistors to change the intensity because the replicas they tried to use the same resistors than the original, but the 1K in 1977, 1K is the same 1K today, but one LCD today you have 100 plus efficiency, you know? So using the same resistors, they are too shiny, too bright.
Yeah.
So I used to test before put the original resistors. I tried with different resistors, you know, to check the intensity of the segments. So the original was 130 ohms. I chose 330 for the intensity, and it's enough for me. I don't like a display too bright because you get tired using it. So I changed the values for a more comfortable level.
Go back a couple of pictures, Vicente. Go
Forward.
back to like the full.
Forward.
No,
I want to see the whole board.
yeah, that's the microcontroller.
It does.
The microcontroller is
It does look like a Rockwell.
is the 6502. This is a modern version, 65C02.
It is. Got TI chips, Rockwell chips.
Yeah.
Hitachi, Texas Instruments.
Well, TI was a huge chip maker back in the day.
What is the vintage of this board, Vicente?
What is that?
What was the date code on this board? What is the date?
No, this is a replica. This is a 2020.
So this isn't an original board. This is
no, it's different. The original. Let me look for the original.
That is, by the way, that's not an LCD. That's an LED. It's a those are 7-segment LEDs.
Yes, LED. Yes, right. Is the King one? The original is this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is made by MOS technology. This is the people that designed the microprocessor. This is the first board that they made for the engineers to deal with the microprocessor and do stuff.
What kind of a power supply did you have to use with that? With the one you did?
Excuse me?
You had an external power supply, right?
Yes. No, they send me a Meanwell transformer, 7.5 volts DC. So you have like a regulator. Here you have a 5 volts regulator, you see? This is the 5 volts, 7805. And you
are those socketed dips or are those soldered in?
dips.
Yeah, but are they socketed or soldered in?
Socketed. I put sockets in every place. And I didn't. This thing is a station made by the people that made the replica to change the monitor, the original monitor, for another monitor more advanced. So you change this jumper and you are running the new monitor. But because I want to change this memory frequently, I will use a SIP socket, 0 force insertion with a level, you know, to change this memory easily.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't install the socket. I will use the 0 force socket. I'm waiting for it.
You've got another unpopulated up at the top of the board there. You have an unpopulated connector.
This connector.
Roll on.
They made an accessory to
right there.
SD card. They have a SD file system to access files out of the board.
Okay.
Very easily. You can change the program. Save programs is a new addition from them. But they also sell a lot of stuff for these extensions. They sell memory, music interface boards, cassette interface boards, memory expansions, this kind of stuff.
So how much do they get you for the board?
$200 for the kit. You can buy it assembled for $250. But the fun is to try to assemble it yourself, you know.
So the $200 is the board plus all of the chips, or
everything. The power supply, all the parts. The keycaps, they send the keycaps with stickers to put the numbers on them. But it's a very fine work. Maybe I'll do it tonight. You need to put each letter in the center of each cap. And it's annoying. It's a slow work.
Sounds like you need a steady hand.
Yeah, but for everything. Yeah, they send you this board with the surface mount chip installed. This is the serial USB adapter, you know, and they pre-install this chip for you. So the original board has a TTY interface. It's a very old wiring stuff to interface to the old terminals, but they put a modern USB serial port here for you. So it's easier to communicate with the board. You can choose with this switch, you can choose keyboard and display or your terminal in the computer. You can use one or another way of programming. So this is what I was doing. I also was refining my Apple One simulator. Let me stop share this. Can you see?
Yep.
Okay, this is let me reset I put the video controller inside this black pill microcontroller. The program is made in the Arduino, and it generates all the video signals, you know, without using the CPU. So a little.
You can emulate an Apple One for what, $6?
Yes, maybe $3.50. I put a delay in every character to simulate the real speed of the Apple One. The Apple One was very slow, so I put a delay because my microcontroller do that instantly. So I put a delay to make it go slow at the real Apple One. Was fun. I was using the Arduino, but I am writing directly to the I/O ports, you know, for maximum speed. So I made an experiment to make a fast loop in Arduino to turn on and off pin in the microcontroller while the video is showing. And you can see a 21 megahertz signal in the oscilloscope made by software, 21 megahertz switching without distortion. I mean, there is no interruptions or anything. And the video is working continuously without interfere with the microcontroller, with the CPU, you know. This is very, very nice because you can do very fast stuff without attending the video generator. So, yeah. Another thing, I bought this this development board from ST, how's the name of the company that made the STM32s?
What board is that?
STM?
No, it's, yes, ST. ST, they are, the initials are ST.
I think it's C-Core Technologies.
No. ST, who? I have the logo, but I don't have the name. One second. SG Thompson? No. ST semiconductor. ST Microelectronics. The name is ST Microelectronics. Well, they have this development board. It's the same microcontroller than the Blue Pill, but this is with 64 pins instead of 48. So I can use this one to interface directly with SIDA 80, for example, and write all the address and data buses to simulate a system using the real microcontroller. One advantage of this microcontroller is an ARM, but all the pins are 5 volts tolerant, you know, so you can connect directly to the all microcontrollers without worry about the voltage. Almost all the ARM microcontrollers, all the ARMs use 3.3 volts. This one also, but it tolerates the 5 volts interface. So you don't need to connect anything between this microcontroller and the CETA80 or whatever you want to use.
How much current will it sink?
Well,
per pin.
I don't remember. I think it's half of an Arduino, 10 milliamps or something. But okay. I am using it for logic, just for logic, for the buses and the signals. But they sell the development boards, and half of the board is the programmer, and the rest of the board are I/O pins. So it's very practical for experimentation. You can break the
programmer, and you can break it off once in the program.
Excuse me?
Like those TI boards.
This section is the ST-Link programmer, but it's included in the board. The ST-Link programmer is here, apart from is this one.
Okay.
Is using for the black pill, but this is connected to the black pill. But in this case, you have the ST-Link already in the board connected to the.
Who makes this, Vicente?
ST, this people.
ST, okay.
ST Microelectronics, yeah.
Okay.
I just added this crystal an hour ago, the stellar crystal, with because instead of using a crystal, microcontroller use a signal, a clock that is sent from the ST-Link using this crystal here. But I cut the lines, and I am using another crystal here because I need a 25 megahertz of this crystal. And this board is using a 8 megahertz from this part of the board. So, but I didn't check it yet, I need to check. Was a little tricky, try to solder these capacitors here. They are OCs 04 size. They are tiny.
For that, you need a really steady hand.
Yeah, I tried several times, and sometimes I lost a couple of them because they are too small. And when you push them, they jump and disappear.
Yeah, they're in the carpet someplace.
Yeah, somewhere. So I used to, when I need to solder a copper, usually I get 4 from the drawer because two of them will jump somewhere.
They're like fleas.
Yes. Once a year, when I clean everything, I find a lot of tiny parts that jump from my desk, but they are too cheap to worry about. It costs less than a cent, So. That's it.
So no painting the kitchen this week, huh?
No, I have several projects. This is one Apple One video. This is another one memory emulator. Because I can I can simulate external memory because I have a lot of speed with these microcontrollers. So I'm trying to do that. I also want to make a punch card reader. This is another project. This is another project, sound location.
So the punch card reader, how is it going to read? Do you have an array that you're going to shine light through the card with, or how's that going to work exactly?
No, just the card has holes, and I use a clip to sense the whole a paper clip just through the cardboard, touch the other side, and you have a short, so you can detect holes in the card.
So this doesn't automatically feed the card and
no.
read it.
This is like
okay.
This is like a game.
Yeah, someplace in my garage, I've got
this is the
couple of boxes of cards. Oh, this is not the full.
No. Just 1 byte per card.
Ah, okay.
You see the holes of the clock.
Yep.
You need to punch the holes of the data in the yellow line. You see, and you have the automatic puncher here.
Yeah.
The automatic puncher.
Yeah.
Boy, that programming has got to be really, you got to have a really strong wrist.
Yeah, you better have a very short program. So I have a full projects on mine, you know.
I sent it all as projects going on.
So that's the queue of projects, is it? That's the queue of projects. So do you do them vertically or horizontally or what?
Yeah, I am using no special order. And the basement is the same, but multiplied by 4. And there are in the back of this door, there is maybe a dozen of additional projects.
That actually kind of sounds like my house, sort of. My projects aren't nearly as organized as his are.
Here is
new stuff.
Yeah.
So that hasn't yet been queued up.
Do you want to have fun? Okay.
The stuff that you haven't played with yet. Huh?
Switch. This is sockets. Round pin sockets. Wire wrap stuff. Components. More jumpers. You never have enough.
Oh yeah.
I love this breadboards from Jameco. You know, this store, Jameco. They have a very good breadboards. I think they are the best. You see?
Yep.
Oh, Jameco, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I found a SD card holder that you can put it vertically in the board. So
that's a micro SD card holder?
Micro SD, yeah. Another Raspberry Pi 02. Oh, this is a microcontroller, a new ARM from ST, but this one runs at 480 megahertz. So, wow, it's like 5 times faster than the one I am using. I need to check it.
Excuse me.
It was busy. This is a USB connector, right angle.
Oh, yep. There it is. Now it's in view. View. Focus. But now Vicente's all blurry.
I told you it was busy. Okay, I have to apologize because last week I thought that was the meeting the Thursday again. So when I realized, oh, I missed the last meeting because I forgot about the day again. So, and today
everybody's still getting used to the idea. It still feels weird to be down here on Wednesday.
Okay, I have a question for everybody. Do you remember Mark West?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone has any new about him or something?
I've not heard from
him. I lost contact. I sent him emails. I called him. I sent him text messages and nothing. Like something happened.
I haven't heard from him since we went and saw that solar project last year.
Yeah, but I used to talk with him every week or every 2 weeks. And suddenly I lost contact with him, you know?
Yeah.
I worry about something may happen or something. I don't know.
Wasn't he in the process of moving the last time he was?
No, last time he was working in his house around in a lot. He was planning to sell a land lot, and he was planning to put a fence around. He asked me about different details about the fence, but the next week I didn't have contact, and since 2 months ago, nothing. Like something happened to him, I don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, the last I talked to him was when we went and saw that solar project.
Yeah.
That solar panel last year.
Yeah, I remember.
That was the last I talked to him.
But I talk with him after that. I talk with him every 2 weeks or every week, just talking about everything. But I don't know what happened.
Yep, I don't either.
I know he has a son in the Incline restaurant, working in the kitchen. Maybe one day I will try to contact him to ask if something happened. I don't know. It's very weird. Well.
Want to see what I got from Kickstarter? Only 9 months late.
Okay.
And I can't make it work here because I already set it up at home. And it doesn't seem to want to give up its AP.
Okay. Nice. It's Omni wheels, right?
Omni wheels. Mecum wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks very, very
1080p camera.
Very good quality.
It's actually
heavy.
Quite
light or heavy?
It's quite heavy for
battery and
what it is.
what microcontroller use the ESP32?
I'm not sure what processor they've got in that.
But you use the Wi-Fi for control?
Yes, and it's probably not an ESP32 because it'll do both 5 gig and 2 gig Wi-Fi.
Interesting.
So,
Then you control it from your cell phone?
Control it through an app, and the video shows up on the app, or you could just program it from the app to patrol, and supposedly it learns. It's got some algorithms in it that
it has something like personality or something like that.
This one doesn't have a screen or anything. It's just a patrol bot. More bot. It's called a Scout.
Okay.
And it looks like it's got a screen, but it really does. That's not a screen. That's just that's where a bunch of sensors are. So that
Jim can use it to pursue the cars in front of the house. You know, the camera. Go catch him.
How fast will it go?
It was quicker than I thought it would be, but I don't really know how fast. I've only played with it on my desktop, so I didn't really want it to go very fast.
Does it have a charger base? It looks like it.
Yes. And it's got some AI built into it.
Oh.
So it's
okay. Okay.
It uses USB-C to
use the camera to recognize the sign, right?
So it's supposed to see the code, get close, turn around.
Okay.
And wait.
Nice.
It's supposed to do
that. Like my bacon.
And also inside the box, dun dun dun, a USB-C cable, an attachment so that you can actually glue the base down.
Okay.
And gear grease or lube for the mechanical wheels. So.
What resolution is the camera?
It's a 1080p camera.
Okay.
So who made this?
Moorebot.
Moorebot.
Moorebot. Moorebot. Amazingly enough, that worked. You see, that's not a QR code, and it's not a.
Well, it is a QR code. It's just not the standard QR.
Yeah, I guess that is more like a QR. It's not a. What is that other marker? The
Aruco?
Aruco marker. It's not an
Aruco.
Aruco. It's really all I know about it, really.
So
it's supposed to
do. Show us.
It won't connect to the Wi-Fi.
Oh.
And it won't give up its access point. It just kept sitting there beeping at me like, where the hell's the Wi-Fi? Where's the Wi-Fi?
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have to maybe resync it to your phone?
Have to probably reset it so that it will give up the access point. Yeah. It's I think it's run some version of Linux, and it's supposed to be open source.
Oh, really?
When they finally get around to releasing the software.
Okay, let's do numbers.
What numbers would you like?
Cost.
It was $139. Let's see.
What's that? Something just came on that front of the car.
Code.
Front of the car.
More bot scout.
$139. I was a early bird supporter, so I got it cheap.
Yeah, good price.
Cheap beat. I think it's supposed to be $200.
Yeah, $200 I could afford. Then there's the programmable remote control STEM kit at $4,300. Now,
I haven't figured out how to get it to work with Google yet either. It's supposed to work with Alexa, and the app. There's a way to set that up, but I haven't figured out how to do Google yet with it.
Where is the camera?
The camera is right on the front. It's
But this, I don't see it there. This is the back of the, okay. Okay.
the camera would be right up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there it is. Time of flight sensor, light sensor, microphone, Wi-Fi button, HD camera, IR, charging port. Supposed to be waterproof. I don't know if I'm ready to test that theory out.
Very nice.
waterproof?
Supposed to be.
Yeah, I would test that one.
That means like rain, not submersible.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
spills.
That means if it gets wet, it won't kill it, but you don't want to put it in water. Anyway, it was an interesting thing that's only 9 months old, or 9 months.
Wow, very good time.
And the worst part about it, in the old house, we had low pile carpet. And in the new house, we have high pile carpet, and it doesn't really like the high pile carpet. So
Time to change the carpet.
time to change the carpet, time to put it,
Yeah, right.
time to put it in the kitchen. It's, there we go. No, that's not right either.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Pet companion, monitor from afar, works with Alexa, works with Google, robotics education development platform. Supposedly you could set it up on schedules to patrol your house 24 hours a day, and it only goes back to the charger when it needs to charge.
Looking for a mouse? Oh. Well,
So the camera is actually angled up a little bit, so
you can program a command like find my shoes.
do what? Find your shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, the camera is actually angled up a little though, so I think it said 3 foot away is its focus difference.
So is the camera movable or is it fixed?
It's a fixed camera.
Okay.
It's a fixed one. Well, the robot's movable, so I guess the camera's movable, right?
It's mobile.
So this is like a robotic watchdog for your house.
Kinda. It's supposed to have some artificial intelligence in it that's supposed to learn various and sundry things.
Maybe in the future will be a good idea to have one of those instead of sensors all around the house. You just have a small robot that when hears something, go straight to the point and check, you know, instead of have sensors in all the windows, all the doors, the ceilings, and just have a small robot that go around the house checking all the time.
So it's like a watchdog.
Yeah,
It,
maybe a good idea in the future.
it's got a microphone, it's got a speaker, so from the app, I could talk to whoever.
There's a speaker in there.
I could talk to whoever's breaking into my house from the app. Hey, stop breaking into my house. Smash!
Well, what you have to do is put a cattle prod in it.
I could see that coming along. Oh yeah, this little thing's talking to me. Hey, it's talking to me. Splash!
Get out, or I will tell you a bad joke.
Get out, or my stun gun. That there's a access port. I think I need a screwdriver there. Yeah, I do.
You can make a picture like Home Alone.
There's an access port up here that gives you access to the serial port, so you could add accessories to it.
I have a screwdriver.
It's all right. I don't need to take it apart. But you could add accessories in there, and they're working on building a robotic arm for it.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know why.
It has to be tiny.
Yep.
Skip over.
The arm looks like it's roughly the same size as this. Let's see if I get this.
So how much do you think it weighs there, Leroy?
I don't know, pound?
Yeah.
Pound maybe?
High density.
So if so this is not very threatening to a burglar though.
It probably wouldn't even be threatening to a cat or a dog, really.
Keep a cat entertained because they'll bat it around.
It's heavy enough that I don't really think that a cat would bat it around too much.
But would it be able to figure out how to get back to where it had been? That's a relatively decent sized dog trying to eat it. I was looking for. Oh, go back up. It tells what the processor is and everything.
ARM 7. Quad core, ARM 7, 5. It's a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
8 gigs of onboard flash, Wi-Fi, 1080p, night vision, motors.
Single cell battery, huh?
9 degrees of freedom, time of flight sensor, UART, USB 3, and a 1 watt speaker. I port scanned it when it first came on. I tried to find, I didn't see any ports open on it. So I'm not sure how you're supposed to. Maybe that will be an update. Maybe they'll do an update to it. I was looking for a picture of the arm. They had a picture of the arm. Somewhere. Probably in the updates. I'm not real sure. I'll look for what the heck just happened.
You stopped the share.
Yeah, but why did it get huge?
You went full screen.
Guess I did. I don't remember clicking that. Anyway, that was my new toy that came in this week, and then I saw the Batman, and that's it. That's all I've done.
So where did you see Batman? In a theater or what?
Yep. Went to the theater in Middletown.
Any comment about it?
You need to see it.
Well, I am in Russia. I can't see it.
Is it standalone?
It's forbidden here.
It's funny. Funny. It doesn't look like Russia, but okay.
It is a standalone.
But you like it, or?
Yeah, I thought it was very, very good. I mean,
Okay.
It's not so much a Batman story as it is a detective story.
Okay.
But I mean, it features Batman pretty prominent. So
I don't like the actors changing all the time. That was annoying.
yeah, I think I didn't have a problem with that because I've never seen him in anything else.
Okay.
It's Batman in this one.
He's Robert Patterson.
Okay.
Apparently,
Nobody knows him because he is Batman, you know?
yeah, exactly. Apparently, though, he was in Twilight and he was in Harry Potter and a dozen other movies. Apparently, he's a famous person. I've never seen in anything.
Oh, you didn't watch Harry Potter?
No. But it's a standalone movie that will probably have a sequel, at least one sequel, because they set it up in it. It's more of a detective story. Bruce Wayne really isn't in it. He's in it a little bit, but Batman's in it a lot. And I know that sounds weird, being that Bruce Wayne and Batman are the same person. But he's more Batman than he is Bruce Wayne in this movie. So, it's a good movie. It's not without its flaws, but which movie actually is, has no flaws to it. It's 3 hours long, so if you're going to go,
Holy cow!
Go to the bathroom first.
it is every bit 3 hours long, but it moves along. I mean, about the hour and a half point, I wondered a little bit about where I was at, how long I had actually been sitting, but the action doesn't really stop. So it's easy to lose 3 hours in this movie, in this world. It was really, really easy to do it.
So do they at least have an intermission for a bio break?
Nope. No, you get to miss stuff if you leave. I'm planning on going and seeing it again. There's just so much stuff going on in this movie.
You can tell it's
you miss
over 50 men with BPH are going to have to go take a pee. For young kids, they can wait for 5 hours, but not an old guy like me.
So
you're just going to have to wait till the DVD comes out, so you can hit pause and walk off.
3 hours. That's a long time.
That was the cut down. It was cut down. It's like a 4.5 hour long movie if you get the director cut.
Like 10 TV shows.
The plot better move along for a 3 hour movie.
Like I said, about the hour and a half mark, about the halfway mark, I wondered how long I had been sitting.
I need a pound of pistachios.
Yep.
You need a big barrel of popcorn for that.
Well, my wife, she is not a Batman fan, and she enjoyed this movie. So
that's good or bad?
She started talking about it. She's like, "Was that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what happened."
So how's it rated?
I think it's PG-13. It's a the last I checked, it had a 90% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes and like an 85% not critic rating.
Yeah. And yeah, it's PG-13.
PG-13.
IMDb has it at 8.5. Rotten Tomatoes at 86.
Okay.
And Google puts it at 92% liked it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's not perfect, but it's a good movie, and it's a good Batman story. It's not like any Batman story you've seen so far. It really isn't.
Okay, interesting.
So, they set up some stuff so you know there's probably going to be a sequel, especially since they made $300+ million in the first couple of days of opening weekend. So you know there's going to be a sequel because they set it up pretty well to have a sequel, but the money is going to say, yes, we're going to have a sequel.
Yeah, well, you got to milk the franchise for every cent.
Well, I have a feeling if it was a box office fail, even with the setup, they wouldn't sink any more money into it. But with 300,
when was it released? When was it really?
It was Friday.
The 4th.
Okay, the 4th.
Okay.
So it was a couple days after our meeting last week. We went to the matinee and we went to the cheap theater. So I told Patty, I said, the next time I see it, I want to go and see the IMAX release because it needs to be watched in something very, very big. So
Something with comfortable seats.
Something with comfortable seats. Actually, the Middletown Theater isn't bad.
Where's Middletown Theater?
It used to be.
That on 122?
Yes.
And Cincinnati Dayton Road.
Danbury Theater. It's Cinema 10 now or something like that. It's a cheap theater. It cost $6 for tickets. Matinee tickets were $6. Popcorn was $13, so we came out of it $6.
Where would you go see the IMAX?
Popcorn and pop than we did on the tickets.
Where would you go see the IMAX, Lee? I know there's an IMAX. What?
AMC theaters have IMAX.
Okay,
so
down in
find an AMC theater.
Union Center Boulevard.
Yeah, there's one right down here.
There's one over here.
I didn't know they had IMAX though.
I don't think all of them do. You gotta, but the AMC theaters have IMAX.
Well, Liberty Center's got that big fancy where you sit in recliners and all that and get food.
Yes, the one over there, Union Center Boulevard, I think it has an IMAX. Rave, whatever. I looked at the price of, so the AMC price of their ticket even on their matinee. For me and Patty to go just to get in the door was going to be $26. We had 2 tickets, popcorn, and 2 pops for $26. I mean, want to talk about cheap? But the movie really deserves to be watched in IMAX.
So was the theater fairly full?
No, there were 10 people in there maybe. And you could tell the people that were there were Batman fans. So
There's an AMC over near work, and they leave work early.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. We got the warning. So I guess that means we need to start wrapping up, guys.
So is this going to be in the Cinemax as well?
Cinemax.
Yeah, there's a Cinemax right down the hill from my house.
Well, I'm sure that all the major theaters are going to have it. I can't imagine they want to miss out on making money off of this thing.
I think we're going to have snow on Friday or Saturday, not a lot.
Oh yeah, that's your forecast?
They say slushy snow.
Hush, hush. We don't need more snow. Hush.
Well, spring will be here soon. What, the 19th or whatever?
20,
astrological spring.
20th or 21st.
Okay. Meteorological spring was on the 1st, and astrological is on the 20th or 21st.
Yeah, it's the vernal equinox.
Yep. When is daylight savings time?
This Sunday.
This Sunday coming
I'm
up.
gonna say it has to be soon. But, all right.
My understanding is it's Sunday.
So we lose an hour's sleep.
I don't know.
Spring forward.
Spring forward.
Yep.
I'm
Fall
these are
back.
my case.
All right. I will see everybody next week.
Okay, take care.
Yeah.
No more X-rated video.
This one should be fine. We'll see you guys later.
Take care.
Bye.
Later.